Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something different. Over the weekend I got the DLC for Derek for on Our Life Begins in Always. It's been a long wait trying to wait for this DLC to come out. Obviously, um, there's another DLC that's going to be coming out next year, the Baxter DLC. So that means with either one of those, what happens is you get to pursue those characters, your main character, your MC character, main character. Uh, that you make your own character. Basically, you make your own character in the game, um, and you get to pursue whoever you want to be with. I mean, in the original part of it, the game, you're actually going for Cove. You're trying to, you start out as friends, and then you kind of start to develop like a crush towards Cove and stuff like that. And then eventually you confess your love, and then eventually the two of you get married. So that's how it's played. There's lots of ways that you can make your own character. You can be female, she, her. Those are the pronouns they use in there. They, them. That would be like somebody that's non-binary. Um, he or him. That's male, of course. That's the character that I chose would be male. And of course, I would be, of course, gay because I am gay in real life. So, and originally I had, or like I said, already did the Cove moments, and you can find that within my channel. There's videos of that, all that. But first, before we get started, I want to thank all 174 subscribers that I have now. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Really appreciate it. I appreciate it even more, and so would the community of charities would even appreciate it if you guys could join with my Patreon, become a Patreon contributing member. Uh, like I said, all the funds that go in there, membership funds that go in there, goes directly to a worthy charity that I choose from. So you would be doing a good thing by helping out the charities, that really need the funds. And of course, I would announce your name at the end of every video to show appreciation for becoming a Patreon contributing member. And for those of you who want to receive uncensored videos that I record, there's only one so far from our Life Begins, and so and always there's an uncensored one that was that I got through being a member of the makers Patreon. They're the people that make the game. I believe it's GB Patch is the name. I joined up with their Patreon quite a long time ago, but and I joined up with their adult tier to where I could get some of their adult content. So that's why I was able to get that, and then record it for you guys here on my YouTube channel and share that with you. And for those of you who want to receive any kind of uncensored videos like the one from Our Life Begins in Always, you must become a member either on my $9 tier or a $25 tier. Those two are set up for adult content. I do have a $3 budget tier. That's mostly for people that are underage, under 18, that shouldn't be looking at adult content, obviously, and it's also for people that just want to be on a budget, can't afford the $9 or the $25. That's fine. But for those of you who want to see the hero route on the original Camp Buddy game, you must. I would like to. Well, I'm not going to say you must, but I would like to see 20. I'd like to see at least 5 of you members or subscribers or viewers become members on my $9 tier Patreon. If you become members on my Patreon before the end of the year, that is 5 of you. If I see 5 of you become members before the end of the year, I will do the hero route on the original Camp Buddy. And don't worry, guys, I'm still going to be doing the Scoutmaster season. I just wanted to share this new DLC moments with you because I've been waiting for it for a long time. And I wanted to share it with you guys. And I get the game through Steam. It's way better than the actual site that they have it on. I've tried to get it through their site and I have problems with it. So it works better if you get it through Steam. Actually, the game does work a lot better if you get it through Steam, and you can buy the DLCs through Steam as well. They're not that expensive. They're less than $5. Some of them are like $3 or $4. It depends on the DLCs, you know. But anyway, let's get started with. We're going to be doing Derek moments. We're going to be. I fast forwarded to a point in. We get toward the end of step 1 where it says and the summer ended. There's a part after where it says in between moment. That's when you get ready where you're gonna find Derek. Derek's gonna come in and you start developing a relationship with Derek from there, basically. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, and we're gonna do as much as I can. We're not gonna do the whole moments because there is a lot, but we're going to do as much as we can. So let's get started with that. Alright, so we'll go to full screen. Maybe I'll turn the music down just a little bit. It is a little bit loud. So there. And this is where we start right here. Getting towards the moments of seeing Derek. It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was hot as ever, but you were inside and away from its harsh rays. To be more specific, you were... Let's see, what do we choose here? Snuggled in bed, celebrating your time off by sleeping in. Wide awake, about to head out and enjoy your time off. Now, if I was well rested and as a kid, yeah, I would get up and go out. That's what I did. So that's what we're gonna do. Get up and get ready to go out. You made sure to slather on a generous amount of sunscreen so you wouldn't get burnt. You were looking in the mirror, studying the clothes you'd thrown on when your bedroom door opened without warning. Oh, by the way, you also get to set how you feel towards Cove in this version. I set it to where basically I would just be friends with Cove at this point and nothing else. And as far as my feelings towards Derek, um, I put relaxed crush basically. So we have a crush and we're gonna see where we go from there, you know? So let's keep going here. In the reflection, you saw Elizabeth raise an eyebrow. You have been staring at yourself in at this whole time, this whole morning. Yeah. I think this is what I would say. I think, I think luckily, in a way, I'm kind of glad that I never had a sibling. Because siblings most of the times just don't get along. There's a lot of clashing going on. So yeah, I'm gonna say you could have knocked next time. I mean, that's what I would say if I had a sibling for real. You just don't walk into somebody's room like that. It is rude. You okay? She ignored that, crossing her arms over her chest with a disgruntled expression. Clearly, she hadn't come in just to see you. Yeah. Mom told me to tell you that your friend's at the door. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him. Say thanks or whatever.
Come on.
So come down already. Okay. Be right there. Yeah. Elizabeth said nothing else and left, having done what she was instructed of her. Now alone, you focused on the mirror once again. Let's see, what are the choices here? Your reflection hardly fit in the frame. You're very tall. Well, let's see. At this point, your main character is 13. I don't know. I mean, most. I mean, you're still growing. I think at that point you're still growing. You probably don't get fully grown. Mostly you don't get fully grown until you're like 18, 19 or something like that. I don't know. It depends. I mean, some people do get tall at that point, I'm not sure how tall I was at 13, but I know on towards high school I did get pretty tall. I did get pretty tall. Excuse my language. I'm trying to say it right. I did get pretty tall. I got up to 6'1", which is what I am now. So yeah. Let's see. What could we put in here? Whole length of the mirror. You're pretty tall. I don't know. No, not at 13. I wasn't that tall. I wasn't quite. I think it was like 5 something at that point, maybe. Let's see. I'm gonna say average height. Yeah, this one right here. Your reflection fit comfortably in the frame. You were your average height. Yeah. Cove was really tall. Derek was kind of short, and you were pretty much the exact height that someone would expect for a 13-year-old. Yeah. See, it depends on the person. Some people tend to grow quickly, and some just grow over time. Okay. I was never really self conscious about my height at any point or how I looked at that point. So I'm just going to go with this. You liked your height. It suited you well in your mind. Then you put the finished touches on your outfit while remin, rem, reminiscing on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued. I think that's the word for it. Piqued your curiosity. You planned on going over to see what Cove was up to, so this worked in your favor. Again, like I said, me and Cove at this point are just friends, and that's it. We've already pursued Cove in the past videos, so that's over and done. Now it's Derek's turn. Your reflection grinned back at you. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left your room taking an easy time down the stairs. Step 2, second chance. Okay. You spotted Mom first, reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hands, which she was pursuing through. Morning, Mom. She looked up at your greeting. A smile instantly appeared on her face.
Thanks.
Good morning, Chippy. Thank you for coming down. Ma's at the door with Cove. He can't stay over today. Unfortunately, why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? Excuse me. You nodded and made your way to the front of the house. Just as she said, Ma was there making conversation. She must have heard you because she looked over her shoulder.
Oh?
Look who finally made it. Morning, sleepyhead. Ma reached forward and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average, so you were little in her eyes, despite being a typical size for your age. Let her do it. You let her do it. You stood by patiently and indulged your mom's wishes. She gave you 2 small taps on the crown of your head. Ah, you're the last one down today. You know that? Life isn't a race. It's gonna stay in longer, so you're welcome. Sorry about the wait. What did we get? I'm gonna say sorry about the wait. Yeah. Oh, there's no need for that. What matters is that you're here now. With a small laugh, Ma stepped aside. Cove was just as you remembered, exactly how you came to know him to be. He leaned uncomfortably to the side in your doorway as his brushy hair covered part of his face. His features were pinched in embarrassment, and he shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the much talked about gift. At first glance, you figured it must be a bouquet of flowers. Then you gave it a real look. No, instead, it was carefully cut fruit. It made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cove's dad. You had to suppress a laugh at this showing. You couldn't imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. What kind of arrangement was. Oh, that kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. It seemed no matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holton would keep going out of his way to be neighborly, and Cove would always be roped into participating. Cole smiled at the sight of you. The string of his goofy errand, he was clearly embarrassed to be uneased. Hey, Chippy. You smiled back. It was second nature to you. Cove had always been such a close friend, ever since the two of you were kids. Hey, it's nice to see you.
Yeah.
And you too. Your grin widened even more every time he came. Your mood was brightened. It was already shaping up to be another long summer with plenty of time for the two of you to have fun together. His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cove nudged the gift closer to you. He was already he was he was ready to be relieved of it. And with that, the gift was accepted. I hope you and your family like this. It's a pretty good gift. I think so, anyway. He smiled earnestly. Dad spent a lot of time picking out the best size and design. There were so many options to choose from. Thank you. You could tell your dad we love the gift. Yeah. Mr. Holden's behavior really was different from any other neighbor you'd ever had. Though, after 5 years, you were used to his antics and you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. Hmm. Eh, I'm gonna go with he was nice. Yeah. You knew he wasn't completely perfect, but he always seemed to try so hard for the sake of others. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are. You shared a confused look with Cove as one both of you stepped through the open door into the neighborhood street. It didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek just a few yards down the road. He ran up to you. Of course, you were happy at the sight of him. I mean, we do kind of have a crush on him at this point, so yeah. Derek was certainly a welcome guest in your neighborhood. It was a pleasant surprise whenever he showed up. After stopping a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. And here is Derek at 13. Then he looked up with a wide grin.
Hey.
Hey, my guys. I was just at your house, Cove, but no one was there. Should have figured you'd be at Chippy's place. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just there? Derek laughed at his own joke. He either didn't notice that it embarrassed Cove, or the embarrassment was what he was actually laughing at. Derek turned to you. He was going to say more when his eyes widened and he gasped. Yeah. What's that? You followed his gaze, unsure. Then you realized what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Holden's gift. This? It's kind of a bouquet of flowers, but made out of fruit.
Nice.
Can I have some? Uh, hmm. I'm gonna say maybe you can have some later. After I give it to my family first, and then he could ask if it's okay, or I could ask him if it's okay, if we could have some. Yeah, maybe you can have some later. Derek grew more excited by your words, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Awesome. Then he nodded his head as if to clear it. Anyway, That's right. I came here because I needed to say something big. He paused, possibly for effect. Mm. There's some other kid here in Sunset Bird. Oh, I know what we're going. We're gonna see this. There's this kid that's also a character in another game that this creator made called Blood Droplets, and this character that we're gonna see now, he's also in that game. So it was kind of this was kind of a crossover, and in the original part when I was doing the Cove moments, we also got to see another character that's also in that game too, called and this is the Jeremy character that we're gonna meet, and then also Shiloh from Step One. We meet him later on too, because he had moved away and then came back, and then got to see him again, and he's also that character. Shiloh is in the Blood Droplets as well. So it was both two crossovers that came into the game. Cove was surprised as you were by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age had moved here since Cove did 5 years ago. Were they with their family? Maybe they were cutting through? Nuh-uh. The kid was all by himself, just walking. Did you talk to him?
Nope.
I came to report the sighting right away. The kid had green hair, glasses, was pretty small, and seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blinked. Slowly, you looked over to your longtime neighbor. That sounds a lot like you, Cove, when you first got here, anyway. It kind of does, doesn't it? That's weird. He sounded almost fond, a small smile playing on his lips. Derek snickered, good natured, naturally. I can see that really well. I can see that really well. Now that you say so. But what you'd say, let's go find Cove's look-alike. We should all meet him.
Sure.
I'll do it. Sure. I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned. Then he pointed down the street the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was going this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you were off with Derek leading the way. If you guys have seen some of my past videos from Our Life Beginnings and Always, you'll see just how this character is. I mean, he's a rude little brat at first when they first meet him in this one, but then later on he kind of changes a little bit, but he's more like emo in his high school age. He's still in he's like in high school at that point. Jeremy is, and He's more like emo at that point. Just a FYI. I hate to give too much spoilers out, but yeah. If you haven't seen any of my past videos from Our Life Begins in Always, please do check that out. You'll find it on my channel. Except for the uncensored videos. The uncensored video from Our Life Begins in Always that I did with Cove moment. If you want a copy of that, you need to join up either on the $9 tier or the $25 tier on my Patreon. Oh, and again, to remind you guys, you can find the link to my Patreon within the description area just below every video. Okay. Derek brought you to the beach as a trio. You made your way down the shore to the old playground. You walked to the familiar path in a comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors almost shone like a beacon beneath the rays of the sun. He scuffled around, kicking up sand as he paced. It was true, he certainly seemed upset, but you didn't think he was sad like you had originally pictured. No, with his erratic movements, you scrunched up expression. He came off angry. You started to have doubts about this expedition. Maybe it'd be better if you left him alone and let him sort himself out. Derek didn't feel the same. He waved wildly, calling out to the boy. Hey guy, over here. The kid whipped around, and an impressive scrawl of craving deeper into his face. His eyes were tired, but a strong, hostile energy still radiated from him.
What?
What is it? What do you want? The sharp tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. What's your name? Jeremy. Was that it?
No.
No, I'm Derek. That's Chippy and Cove. We were just talking, walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. There aren't a lot of kids in our okay. They aren't a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. Yeah. So you knew it's cool to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ear, it would have happened then. They did bring me somewhere stupid, of course. I knew it. What?
My parents.
They're the ones who brought me. I didn't walk to this town. You Can you not figure that out on your own? Excuse me.
Right.
Right. My dad brings me to Sunset Bear too when he has to come for work and all that stuff. It's not bad. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation, probably either. That's an understatement. This doesn't count as a vacation. It's a waste of time, a chore. My parents' family is nearby and we just had to come see them. Ugh.
Um,
If your parents' family doesn't that make them your family too?
I guess.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No. Jeremy closed his arms with a huff. He turned away. They should have gone by themselves since they cared so much and left me home. But I'm not allowed to be by myself. Pfft. It makes no sense. They're the ones who don't know how to do anything, and I'm the kid. What would be the right thing to say here? I think the third thing would be the right thing to say. Right thing to say. Sorry, it must suck being forced to do something you don't want. As if that does anything. You turn to Cove, lowering your voice. The two of you aren't that similar at all. Jeremy must have had good hearing, though, because he caught the private exchange and scuffled.
Stupid.
Of course, we're not similar. My eyebrows aren't stupid. Cove's cheeks flushed crimson at the insult. You couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger. Maybe both. Rude? That is a rude thing to say. Yeah, this kid is rude. He's a jerk. Damn. Come on. Let's see. Yeah, I think this one. Because that was a rude comment. Apologize to Cove right now. You can't treat people like that. Exactly. Cove smiled weakly.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry for your eyebrows. Or, I'm sorry your eyebrows are so terrible. Still rude. Jeez. Hmm. Let's see. You patted Cove on the shoulder. Yeah, don't listen to him. He's being a jerk. Cove gave you a watery look in exchange for the silent support. Trying to talk to a rude boy clearly wasn't going to go anywhere. Wow. What what is wrong with you? Instead of talking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's words in nasally voice. Oh, nasally voice.
Wow, what is wrong with you?
Wah wah. Ooh, this kid is rude. Mean too. I mean, just because you're having a bad day because your parents brought you to a place where you didn't want to be, doesn't mean you gotta be like this. Okay. It doesn't really change that much in the future, that's for sure, this kid. He just becomes more emo like. But at least if you see some of the my past videos, he does apologize for he does kind of make an apology for anything he's done in the past. You know, he says it's sorry for whatever anything he said that was bad in the past. He realizes that he was not a very good person when he was that young. At least he succumbed to that, at least. I mean, he's more of an emo at that point in high school, but yeah. Jeremy stuck out his tongue and scolded away, throwing more sand everywhere he went. You watched him go, hunched over until he became a speck in your vision. Silence reigned. In its wake, the three of you tried to process what just happened. I can't believe it. What a mean kid. I know, right? I mean, like I said, just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean you gotta come off like that. Derek wasn't kidding. And by the sound of those earlier complaints, the new boy Jeremy was going to be in the area for at least a little while this summer. Derek sighed in dismay, plopping into the ground. You followed, and Cove did too shortly after. There wasn't much else to do.
This sucks.
I was hoping we could meet someone fun, hang out maybe. Yeah, sorry about that, Derek. We ran into a kid that's just having a bad day and trying to take it out on everybody else. He shook his head. After a moment, he slowly turned to you with a hopeful expression. But you know what would really improve the day? What? He didn't respond. Instead, he used a hand to point right at the fruit arrangement that you were still holding. You completely forgot about it during the mini drama that unfolded. You had gotten used to the wait. Glancing over to Cove, you noticed he was eyeing the fruit. He must have wanted some too. No, I still need to save it. It was for the family, so I mean, you can come out. We'll bring him over to our house and then share it with him. But we need to give it to the family first, because that's what it was for. But I'm sure both our moms, yeah. If you find out, if you're watching the videos before, you realize that we have two moms. They're both, lesbian, obviously, but yeah. So we have two moms who adopted us, adopted both my character and our sister character, Lizzie, or Elizabeth. Yeah, but I'm gonna say I need to save it.
Okay.
Don't worry, we'll sure get some. When we get back to the house. He sagged, still staring at the glistening fruits, but he didn't insist further. Yeah, it's a gift for the Prince family, after all. You should be the ones who. They should be the ones who get to have it. Sorry for asking. It's fine. Quiet once more descended upon your group. Cove turned towards the ocean, a peaceful expression on his face. Hey, you two remember the land before time? That fruit thing makes me think of it. The dinosaurs all liked the leaves that were shaped like stars. Yeah, I like that movie. Tree stars. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, chomping leaves look so delicious when they did it. Yeah, I love that movie. Me too. Derek didn't say anything further about dinosaurs or otherwise. For the next few minutes, the three of you watched the waves crash into the shore. Yeah. Hey, Chippy. Yeah. The two of you met eyes casually.
So,
That was pretty cool, what you said back at that guy. Oh, thanks. I was just saying what I thought. Derek chimed in while in high spirits. You totally owned him. I don't know what his parents say, but it's good at least somebody's is around to tell him what's what. Yeah. Derek didn't lean back on his arms. He contemplated contemplated the sky with a content sigh. So, are you both ready for summer break? Yeah, I would be. Cool on you. I wish I could say the same. It feels like there's a lot to plan for.
Hmm?
And what about you, Cove? Are you ready? I think that depends. Before you could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered.
Hey!
Hey, Chippy! You glanced over your shoulder to see your sister. She strolled closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking all over for you. Ma said you and Cove ran off with the thing Mr. Holden bought for us. She leaned over you with arms folded. So, where is it? It's fine. And right here. You turned your body to face her and held up the bouquet, proving that it was in one piece. She inspected the fruit arrangement with a small frown.
Okay.
All right, looks good, but if all you're doing is sitting around, you better take it back to the house now. It's not just for you. She grinned, glancing at Cove, who sat beside you. Even if you do have it in with the delivery boy, this is what was up to Mr. Holden. Cove stifled a chuckle and gave you a conspiratorial look. Get going. This wasn't okay just because you hadn't done anything yet. No, I think I hear the mean kid coming back. We better get out of here. Elizabeth blinked, confused, and looked around.
What?
What kid? I don't see anyone. Derek didn't bother explaining. He just launched his feet and ran off. Cove hopped up too, gladly taking the opportunity to exit the situation. He followed after Derek, but he sent a look to you from over his shoulder. You turned to watch Elizabeth. She stared back, brow raised. You ran. Without a word, you got to your feet and bolted down the beach. Unimpressed, Elizabeth rolled her eyes.
So immature.
She shook her head as she walked towards the house, but not bothering whatsoever to follow. Meanwhile, the three of you made it back to the shoreline. Derek pumped his fist, grinning in triumph. We escaped and shall live to see another day. Yeah, for now at least. I still have to face Elizabeth when I go back home. You chuckle together, walking further down the beach, side by side. You definitely wanted to stay outside a little longer, while longer. You had gotten a bit of talking to for running off with the gift twice, even though you hadn't eaten any of it. But Elizabeth was also asked to be a bit more patient in the future. In the end, the four of you had split the bouquet, and the event was fully resolved. After that, Derek had rejoined you in the living room. He elected to stay outside for extra time so that you could face the potential scolding from your family without him witnessing the embarrassment. Derek was a guy you could count on. The dust had settled from the prior events, and your moms went back to their room. So Derek was just taking it easy until his dad arrived. Mr. Suarez was meant to be there any minute to get Derek. Derek preferred not to sit, and instead took long, lazy strides in a circle around the edge of the rug. Hands behind his back and headed angled towards the ceiling, Derek looked like he might have been puzzling out a crime. He probably made a half dozen rounds around a solid knock stuck your front door that stopped Derek in his tracks. Dad's here. The both of you stepped towards the door in unison. You arrived first since you'd had a half-room head start. When you'd pulled it open, only a crack, someone zoomed in past you. The breakneck flash of a human was still entirely recognizable. It was Derek's little brother, Nicholas Suarez. He shouted triumphantly, "Derek! We're here." He was only 6, the tiniest kid around. Hot on his heels came the middle Sarah's son, George?
Nicholas.
We have to stay in the car. We're going home. We're not here to play. He was 10 and his patience was being tested. The youngest one frantically shook his head. It made his hair even messier than it already was. Nicholas' hair was as wild, as free as he was. Hair clips and his parents' minivan couldn't contain the energy, which might have been surprising considering he loved cars enough to wear a shirt covered in them. But you knew Nicholas loved Derek even more. Staying right where he was inside their house at his older brother's side, Nicholas gave Derek a hug. I came to get you. Derek bent down to scoop Nicholas into his arms in a fond squeeze, though he kept his face tilted up to make eye contact with George.
Hey.
Hey, bros. Side by side, Mr. and Mrs. Suarez trailed in. Their resemblance between the parents and their children was clear. Derek and George were the spinning image of their father. George was even sometimes called Junior, while Nicholas was a mama's boy.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chippy. I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom and I'm gonna turn this air down. It's too cold in here. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Hello.
Hello. You'll have to forgive the three-ring circus visiting town. The boys just had to come. I think the second one would be the right one to say. Don't worry about that. You're welcome here. The frown had been stuck on George's face. Finally eased up a little. Oh, how kind.
Goodbye.
But we can't stay. Thank you for letting Derek visit. Tell your mothers I said hello. Okay. Come on, boys. All for you now. Let's give the Prince family their house back. Coming.
Yes, Mom.
Half the group trotted toward the only forward with only a word. They went past Miss Soares and out the door. She watched them go before surveying the situation with the most troublesome one. Nicholas was just bouncing around Derek as he hadn't even heard his parents. Derek and his mom looked on with identical expressions of exhaustion, tangled affection. When an opportunity opened up between hops, Derek carefully took hold of Nicholas's small hand. Let's go to the car, Nico. You can't sit next to me. You can sit next to me. Thrilled by the promise, Nicholas let out another cheer.
Let's go!
Yeah, let's go to the car. Miss Soares left it there, trusting her eldest, and went to join Mr. Soares and George. Nicholas grabbed Derek's black wristband with his free hand, stretching it outwards in his eager attempt to lead his bigger brother along. Derek stumbled forward with a chuckle, mostly to protect his hand from being pulled too far rather than Nicholas actually having the strength to move him. But he made sure not to forget you. Derek said his goodbye from over his shoulder. Bye, guy. Bye, everybody. After their prompt entrance and equally quick exit, the whole Sarah's family was on their way home. You, however, didn't have anywhere to go. It was late enough that the rest of the day would be spent inside your own house. That was a while ago now. Later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You were waiting on a call tonight, specifically from your cousin, Lyrindra. You didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Your families only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. A while back, though, they moved and were closer to you than ever before. You now hung out regularly. With school being out, your positive she's gonna want to come over a lot. The two of you were the same age and you got along well. She used to be really fond of Elizabeth too, but now that your sister had become allergic to interacting with her own family, it tended to be just you and Lee who spent time together. She was your only friend who was a girl. Yeah. You weren't a girl yourself, so maybe that was why. Okay. But you had plenty of other friends, yeah. They just happen not to be girls. Then the shrill ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. Prince Residence, Chippy speaking. You were greeted by a distorted, high-pitched giggle.
What?
Why do you sound so weird? Mom always answers the phone like that sometimes. It's supposed to be polite. You should go with just hi. That was something a robot would say. There was static on the end, as if Lee was shifting whatever she was. So, can you believe school's actually over? I thought I'd never be done. It'd never be done. Now we don't have to do any of that boring stuff. And we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hanging out, Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head to my room.
Oh, yeah.
You got up from your seat at the counter. Luckily, the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any cords tying you down. Your mom's had a rule about not moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which was why you'd been set by its cradle, waiting for Lee to call. Let's see. You thought that made sense. It was nice to keep it in its proper place. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your bedroom and talk to her. You made your way up the stairs, smiling. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. You took a seat on your bed. All right, I'm here.
Cool.
Hey, did you know the girl down the street from me was her own has her own phone now, a cell phone. She doesn't have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Wow, really? The thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you, right? I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get one on my own. I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. I wish they'd change their mind. We could call each other every single day, and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? Excuse me. Really great. We could even stay up late talking about whatever we want. Lee sighed thoughtfully into the receiver. At least they said I could have it someday. I can't wait. She sighed dramatically. Excuse me. I bet I'm not going to get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and ear, you puffed up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over and you'd have to choose whether or not to go to a college. School was such a big thing, part of your life right now. I'm gonna go with the second one. You worked as hard as most people and got pretty average results as well. You guessed that was reasonable enough. Let's see what now. Okay. I'm gonna go with the second one. You hope to do just as well this year, but it wouldn't be a big deal if they drop some. Grades weren't the most important thing, no matter how good or bad they ended up being. Yeah. You tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you too well to be fooled.
What's up?
You sound so spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it 'cause it's summer? That's what I'm doing. Yeah, let's make a petition for more vacation time.
Yeah.
Everybody in class would sign it, maybe some of the teachers too. Though, I guess school isn't all the way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. Let's see. Uh, Gym is pretty great though. There was all sorts of sports stuff during gym. Oh yeah, it can be fun sometimes. And it's the easiest way to hang out with people not in the neighborhood. If I didn't go to school, I'd never met, I've never met anybody new. No one really comes here. Uh-huh. But that was all. Yeah. And that's pretty much everything that's good about school. Okay, point taken.
All right.
Now, I decree the topic of school is officially closed. We have to talk about the summer first before we start plotting the rest of our lives. I've got some plans already. Oh, tell me. See. Ah. I'm gonna visit my cousins. You chuckled, of course. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. Let's see. Let's say probably spend time at the beach. I could have guessed that one. You lean back in your bed, sitting in, as you continued chatting with your friend, even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her, and you'd be seeing her soon. You found plenty to talk about. For one, the events of the day, you set up straighter. I was with Cove and Derek today, and we went and we met a new kid. Like at your neighborhood? Mm-hmm. His parents are a visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What is he like? Mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He was just he just kept being rude to everyone. Exactly. But especially Cove, it was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. Yeah, no kidding. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta use the bathroom again. Sorry about that. You want a boy to stay away. You want a boy to stay away before you even meeting him. That's an unexpected twist. Your cousin was pretty particular with the boys who knew her. She seemed happy enough to have them around until they started to annoy her. Who are you to talk? Cove and Derek are always around. They're both boys, you know. Yeah, that's true. Only laughed at your affirmation, deeply amused. Even though she couldn't see, you shook your head at her, grinning to yourself. There was a stomping noise approaching your room, heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open, a frown echoed on her face.
Come on.
How long are you going to be hogging that phone? Glancing at your watch, you realize that your quick call had gone on longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held out her hand, the other one lodged on her hip. She noticed the realization on your face. Time's up. Okay. Okay. Gotta go. I'll see you soon, okay?
Bye!
Okay, see you. Tell Elizabeth and your moms I said hi too. You barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked the handset from your fingers and began dialing someone new as you strolled out of the room. Your mom's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it. With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. That was one way to end your first day of summer break. Sometime later, it had gotten dark outside and you laid in bed wide awake. Your window rattled all of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you saw only the moon and an open sky. You were curious? What had caused that noise? Cocking your head, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You wanted to get to the bottom of this. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by a pair of familiar ocean blue eyes. Cove? You squinted. Yep, Cove was right outside your window. Your house was very angular, and some parts stuck out further than others. So it was theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around on. Still, just because somebody could didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. To his credit, Cove was doing fine. His feet were balanced against a section of the wall that jolted out of his arms, flexing with the effort to keep him upright. He easily lifted a hand and waved at you from the other side of the glass. Excuse me. You hurriedly opened the window. Cove climbed over the ledge, releasing a breath once he was safely inside.
Hey.
Hi, Chippy. Okay. Well, this is what I said when I was trying to get with him. So I'm not going to do that this time. At this point, we're just friends. Okay, so what should we say here? I think this would be the right thing to say here. Is everything okay? What happened? It's not okay. I needed to talk to you and couldn't wait until tomorrow. Okay. If I ring the doorbell, I know your moms would have answered and they'd just make me go home. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I don't want to talk about it. Well, besides with you, I mean. But that's why I did that. As unexpected as this was, you were touched. Cove felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I might have tried calling or something, except my dad was on the phone. Cove suddenly looked very cross. Dad, he was talking to my mom, still is probably. You raised your eyebrows. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' phone conversation. I think the third one would be the right thing to say. You didn't comment on him eavesdropping. There were other things to talk about. Are you going to stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks when it happened buried. Sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summer. Even though it was hard news when you found out he was leaving, you missed seeing him those weeks. You understood. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. That's what I thought too, but no, that's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom not to have me leave this year. He said she could come stay with us here. You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cove. There was a complicated mix of expressions on his face. Oh, what did your mom say? She told him she'd come. I know she's coming soon before school starts. Oh. You had heard Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He tell you about past memories or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon, you were going to see Cove's mom in person. You were taken aback by the news, so you could only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across the room, his features painted with thread. Before they barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch. Now we're going to be all together again. The three of us. After all this time. Just for a few weeks. I know I should probably be happy they can talk to each other for other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out. And now I feel really bad for feeling this way. Chippy, it's so... His fists tightened and his eyes became misty. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already, and I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. I'm sorry, Cove. You know I'm here for you, as a friend, of course. The tense line of Cove's shoulders eased. Thanks, it makes me feel better, like I'm not freaking out for no reason. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. You marveled at how the day started. You had woken up earlier, eager for summer vacation, but now things seemed so crazy. The mini debacle with Mr. Holden's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood, being so rude, and as if all that wasn't enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove and his dad again. And she's just visiting. She's not moving in. I mean, the two of them are divorced. Your whole life was kind of like that. It seemed complicated, and hard, and different. They couldn't. Why couldn't things just get better with time? Chippy? The sound of your name said quietly pulled you from your thoughts. Cove gazed at you concerned.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. You meant it. You knew some things were still good. Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine. He had come here conflicted and upset, and only to end up worrying about you. He really was a great friend. You know, I think I don't want to talk anymore about this. He looked away, his lips thinning into a line. He rubbed his arms. But I kinda don't want to go back home either. Could I stay a little longer just doing something else? He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away? Of course, you can always stay here, Cove. You helped his gaze confidently, hoping your words got across to him. Cove perked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. You felt a little bitter at the sight of somehow you still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. And not just tonight, you were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you never want to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. That initial friendship had deepened so much over these past years, and you were certain there was room to get even closer. You joined Cove on your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again, but you could tell this time it was half-hearted. He was still easy to read, though didn't want to talk about his mom and dad. He must be thinking about what happened and what's about to happen. You put a hand on his shoulder. He reached out and placed a hand on his taller frame. It wasn't much, but you hoped the contact helped even a little. Cove blinked, startled, before his expression softened into something more natural. Conversation was stilled and broken often by silence at first. Then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that the two of you would have to part ways, and you knew Cove felt the same. You opened your tired eyes, groaning as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your tan skin. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple of times, clearing the sleep from your eyes before realizing with the start that it was actually morning. You couldn't remember even falling asleep. Cove had crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent time together trying not to wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wondered how late Cove had stayed before heading home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of bed and get ready for the day or stay snuggled up for a little while longer. Until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable mop of pale green hair, and you bolted upright and gasped in surprise. He never left. He was still there in the morning. Cove. He had fallen asleep while sitting on the ground and precariously leaning his head on the side of your mattress. With their shout, Cove's eyes snapped open and his head slipped from its source of support. He didn't stop going down until he smacked right into the floor with a crack. You climbed. You clamped a hand over your mouth and looked down at him with wide eyes, curled up where he had landed rather ungracefully.
Aww.
Ow. Are you okay? You winced at his tumble, hoping no one else in the house had heard either of your outburst. Yeah, I'm alright. Cove rubbed at his forehead a little, and you weren't sure that was entirely true. If either of your moms had found out Cove had slept here last night, the two of you would be in big trouble. Cove blinked at you a couple of times, his eyes growing as panicked as some thought that only he could hear settled in his mind.
Oh my god!
I fell asleep. Yep, sure did. You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cove pace around, looking around frantically. Cove stopped mid-step and you wanted to ask what he had been searching for, but you guessed he wouldn't know the answer to that himself. Despite that, he had clammed down completely. The atmosphere was still fastened. I think this is the right one to say. It's going to be alright. You just need to leave before anyone notices you're here. If they knew, we would have heard about it already. Cove nodded, his shoulders tensed as he fixed you with a forearm stare with his turquoise eyes. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran a hand through his hair in expiration. He couldn't look at you again as he spoke. I'll see you later. You were confused by how all of this had played out, but hoped that was true. Right. Bye, Cove. At that, you were suddenly wrapped up in a tense embrace. As panicked as he was, this seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Thanks again. You're a good friend, Chippy. He firmly whispered the words into the top of your shoulder. But you were let go before you had a chance to respond or even fully react. In a matter of seconds, he had climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cove's hair and filling the room with its salty scent. Cove fiercely stepped out into the village. And wish good luck. Good luck. Be super careful. You weren't sure if he heard you or not, but he kept going along, one foot in front of the other, with increasing speed until his form disappeared out of sight. You stuck your head out of the window as far as it could go to try keeping watch. He walked the full length of the ledge before jumping down to the top of the garage, then lowering himself into the fence. From there, he finally dropped down to the ground. You threw out a thumbs up at his successful climb. He ran off towards his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. You had to admit that you were pretty impressed at how durable he had made it look. With a little sigh, you reclosed your window, deciding there was nothing more you could do. You hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. You made your bed. It was a habit of yours. You straightened up your sheets, smoothed over your comforter, and fluffed your pillows before stepping back and admiring your work. You took the stairs slowly, attempting to mask your face into a look of innocence. You were sure that someone would have come into your room if they had heard anything strange, but you couldn't be careful. You had to play it cool. When you stepped into the living room, Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning, Elizabeth. She looked over immediately, her eyes squinting at the greeting.
Why?
Why are you being so weird? You hadn't even done anything. Your big sister never missed a beat, unfortunately. You turned and offered a tight smile, and her lips pursed together even tighter. Chippy. you shrugged it off. But not. You spoke so nonchalantly, you almost thought she'd believed you. But you knew better. Further suspicious squinting occurred as she waited for something. But ultimately she rolled her eyes, and you weren't sure if you were in trouble or not. She didn't seem to care enough to dig any further. Whatever. And then she walked straight out of the front door. Letting it slam shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh. Elizabeth went out most days to hang out with her friends from school around town. Today you were extra glad for it, though you were also grateful she hadn't left the house any sooner and risked running into Cove. It looked like you were getting away with that. Breakfast was eaten in peace and alone. Your moms were both out by the time you had gotten up. They had left you a serving of food from the breakfast they had made. Hash browns, an omelet, fruit salad, and there were a few sausage links. You took a little bit of everything. It was tasty. You appreciate that there was a variety of in the meals your mom's made. The day lazily drifted by at home, and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosting air for a moment or two before grabbing a bottle of ice cold water and taking a long drink. It was perfect balmy summer afternoon, and you had decided to head outdoors and find something to do. You hadn't decided what that something was just yet, but you were sure something would pop up to occupy your time. As you were heading out the front door, you paused for a moment. You hadn't seen Cove since he had left that morning, and you couldn't help but think about what had happened to him. Would it be bad to go over to his house right now, or call him to check on him? To check in? You stepped out of your house, still stuck in the initial debate with yourself, when a voice caught your attention.
Hi.
Hi, Chippy. Confused, you looked over to where an unrecognizable woman was waving at you, a friendly smile plastered on her face. You racked your memory for where you might have seen her before, but nothing came to mind. Not your school or from the county country club your moms took you to. You had absolutely no idea who the woman was. The woman crossed the road towards you, and you were a little unsure whether you should stay or go back into the house and lock the door. Oops, I'm sorry. Was that presumptuous? I've heard about you, but you have no idea who I am, do you? You shook her head and she removed her sunglasses to reveal sparkly ocean blue eyes. All of a sudden, she seemed a little more familiar. My son lives here, and my ex too. With a bent smile, she lifted a hand to point out the condo across the street from your own house. She was Cole's mom. You didn't know why you hadn't realized sooner how that you'd gotten a good look at her. It made sense that she was Cole's mom. They had the same eyes and other physical traits in common. No matter your thoughts on her, you still felt taken aback that she had appeared here so suddenly. Cove mentioned she was coming, but you had gotten the impression it would be the very next day. She extended a hand again, this time for you to take, and you studied the manicured fingers in front of your face and the assortment of bracelets that jingled from her wrist. I'm Kyra Priest. You can call me Kyra. You shook her hand. You reached out and took her hand. She shook yours firmly, grinning wide. I'm Chippy, but you already knew that. You already know that.
That I do.
Cole's mentioned you to me before. It's nice to officially meet you, Chippy. Cove talked to you about his mom. He hadn't mentioned how he said things about you to her. Okay. What has Cove said about you? No, I can't tell you that. I've already said too much. She laughed good-naturedly. You couldn't be happy about that answer, though. The sound of a door opening and closing caught both your attentions, and when you turned towards the sound of it, it was to find Cove exiting his house, his eyes skimming the ground. Considering just how tall he had grown, you kind of figured his mom also would have been tall, but she was much more on the short side for an adult. Anyway, Cove's height must have come from his father.
My baby.
There you There you are. I thought you were going to keep me standing out here all day. You tried to catch Cove's eye as he walked towards you, but his gaze was firmly fixed on the sidewalk. When he finally crossed the road and looked up, he gave you a pitiful look. After the way he had acted last night, you knew he must be feeling pretty mixed up about this. You tried to wordlessly express that you understood. Cove and I are heading into town to grab something to eat while the snore is at work. Kara beamed at Cove and ruffled his hair, which only seemed to upset him more. You assumed the snore she was talking about was Mr. Holden. Hey you should come with us, Chippy. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, you should come. There was a pleading in his tone that you couldn't miss. Yeah, he needs a friend right now to kind of ease his tense state, I guess. So, yeah. Of course, we'll run it by your parents first, responsibly, and all that.
Any whoosies?
It'll give me an excuse to meet them, which I need to do at some point. It's important to be neighborly if I'm going to be roosting on this street for the time being. Any Uzis. Let's go. Car walked ahead towards your house, and you hung back with Cove, who crinkled his nose as he watched her.
Sorry.
I'm sorry about her, but I really do want you to come. I don't want it to be just the two of us right now. Yeah, I get it. It's kind of an awkward situation right now. Yeah, I get it. You leaned in closer and whispered while checking around for anyone who might hear. What happened? Did your dad know you were gone? Cove shook his head and sighed heavily. Dad was so focused on Mom showing up that he didn't even notice. I thought I heard them on the phone last night that it was something they were planning for the future. This morning, Dad said it was supposed to be a surprise, and I guess I was surprised. She's gonna be here all summer. Oh. You were surprised to hear that too. Cole sighed again, even heavier. I'll go with you, if you really want me to. He smiled, his shoulders relaxing a little in relief. Thanks. That'd be cool. The two of you headed over to Cove's mom and had just knocked on your front door and stood behind her. Mom answered the door after a minute, her eyebrows lifted in surprise at the group she found in front of her. You realized that, like you, she would have no idea that it was Cole's mom who was hanging with you. However, after blinking at the woman a couple of times, and looking between her and Cove, the realization seemed to strike on her. Hello there, I'm Pamela.
I see.
I see you've met my kid, Chippy, and I'm guessing you've already known Cove for a while? Kyra laughed, and you and Cove exchanged looks at your parents' weird sense of humor. I'm Kyra Priest, Cove's mom, and it's so nice to meet you. A head of purple brown hair caught your eye as Mom popped up behind Mom, squeezing herself in beside her. We have company. I was wondering what all the commotion was. She grinned excitedly at Kyra. The two of them introduced themselves and shook hands.
Hello.
Hi, Chippy, Cove. Cove smiled at Ma shyly, and she gestured a hand towards the living room. There's no use hanging around the doorway. Why don't you come in? I'd love to, but I promised to take my son out to eat, and I wouldn't want to hold you up with a surprise visit. Ah, I understand. You're welcome to stop by anytime.
Of course.
I'll take you up on that offer when I can. Count on it. Would you mind too much if Chippy went with Cove and I? My treat. We won't be driving, just a quick walk down the road. Sure, that sounds nice.
Have fun.
I hope you all have fun. You gave your moms a look, and they smiled at you fondly. Okay. You were happy they were letting you go. You could tell that Cove really needed the support, and you were ready to be there for him.
Marvelous.
Expect us back in an hour or two. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Your parents waved goodbye to the three of you as you backed up into the street. There was the sound of the front door closing behind you. I'm pretty positive I saw some restaurants when I was in the taxi not too far from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tourist town, isn't it? There's a lot of them around. It was kind of strange to see Cove give someone this much attitude. If he wasn't in the mood to be nice, he generally just kept to himself. Kara put her hands on her hips and smiled at her son.
Well,
you sound like the area expert. Do you have any recommendations for a place nearby? Not really. Kara pouted at him a little and turned to you instead. How about you, Chippy? Want to point me in the right direction? Sure, I have a couple of favorites. You've been to a lot of places in town, and there were a couple that stood out of all the rest. There's a Chinese restaurant that me and my family go to all the time. It's my mom's favorite. There's also a tropical themed place that tries to be sort of fancy. Both sound like a treat. I'll leave it to you to pick for us, since Cove is going through a phase over there. Yeah, he's kind of going through an awkward phase. He huffed at her and turned his face away. How about the tropical themed place?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chippy. Well, you show us the way. You nodded, taking the lead of your little group as Cove and his mom followed behind you. Together, the three of you left the neighborhood behind. The walk was about 15 minutes, and along the way, Kyra asked a lot of questions about the area. Cove was quiet most of the time, so you ended up answering her instead. Kyra explained that she lived in a large city and she loved how peaceful and relaxing everything seemed in Sunset Burn. The restaurant was busy as usual, but luckily you were shown right to a small table. Kyra lowered herself into the chair while Cove picked the one diagonal to her, not facing her or to her side. It was awkward. Let's see. To start, what would you like to drink? I'll get an orange soda.
Noted.
Noted. Chippy? Soda. Which flavor? Coke. Cola. Sure. Kara placed the order for your drinks, getting a black hot coffee for herself, and it didn't take long before they were brought to the table and sit in front of you. You took a long sip of your drink as you looked around the restaurant. Your small group checked over the menus, deciding what to order. The last time you came here, the dish you ordered was amazing. You wanted to order something different this time. Kara and Cove didn't need any encouragement for this. They were totally focused on their information in front of them. Soon the meals too were ordered and the menus taken away. You glanced at the table surface, wanting to figure out what to say. Cole sunk back further into his seat and avoided eye contact. He started to twiddle his thumbs and while acting like this was perfectly normal. His sour feelings today were unignorable. Instead of asking more more open questions he'd brush off. Kara had mercy on her son and instead put her focus towards you.
So?
So, Chippy, what's a few things that you're into? There's got to be something you do for fun, especially now that you're not buried in school assignments. You go to the beach, swim. You must be a strong swimmer since you live in so close to the ocean. I find the water a little scary, but I still like to dip my toes sometimes. I like to build sands and castles. That sounds like a lot of fun. And I look for seashells. I keep the best ones I find for my collection. I'm sure it's an incredible collection. And let's see. Music. I was never really good at playing any instruments, so I listen to a lot of it. I have an MP3 player at home that my mom helped me put some music on, and I've seen some concerts. Awesome. Again, I don't play any. I mean, I tried to play the guitar once, but I wasn't very good at it. I tried to play drums, wasn't good at that. Yeah, I think one time in elementary school they had us playing a wind instrument. Can't remember what it was, but I wasn't very good at that either. Let's see. What else? Hang out with people, like friends nearby. Hey, it's nice to have friends and family to spend time with. True, true. Games are fun. I like to play. Board games, yes, sometimes. That's great. We should play a game together sometime. So, video games. I don't know much about them. Maybe you can show me sometime? Card games, yeah, sometimes. I like card games too. Maybe we can play together sometime. And that's about it, really. And you didn't say anything else.
Thanks!
Thanks. I'm happy to learn more about you. That's so much I hadn't heard. Cove leaves the details out. He was not trying to pay attention, but you could tell he was uncomfortable. Hoping it would clear some of the tension in the air, you decided to ask Kara a few questions of your own. Cove hadn't told you much about her, and you were curious to know more about this woman who was such a big part of his life. What exactly do you do for work? I'm a travel writer for a magazine and things. I keep people on the loop on what's worth seeing. It's good work. Wow. Where do you live normally? Nevada. Have you ever been there? Duh, I live in Las Vegas. I mean, for real, I do, but probably not my MC character since he lives here near the beach. You shook your head. It's a beautiful place. Check it out if you can. I would not say it's a beautiful place. Not really. Very hot during the summer. And that's pretty much it. Unless you like going to the casinos or whatever. Although I do like going to do fundraising shows like at gay bars, which I've been doing quite a bit of. Being that I am a title holder now. I'm actually king of clubs. It's a kind of a bar title, but right now. But I've had other titles over the year that stuff that I did to help raise for charity. Let's see what do we pick here? Okay. Oh, what do you like to do? Spend time with my little boy, of course, and traveling. A real shock, huh? I think if I were to ask any of these two questions, that would be overstepping bounds. Too personal to ask, I think. So you couldn't bring yourself to ask other questions. Yeah. It didn't seem to bother her that the conversation dropped off. Cove sipped his soda angrily, slurped the remaining drink with furrowed brows. He looked ready to run straight out of the restaurant. You weren't sure if coming along had ended up making the lunch better or worse. You gave him a sympathetic look. Cove eventually noticed you watching him and you gave him a look to let him know you were there for him. It took a couple moments, but finally he cracked a smile, and that made you feel a little lighter inside.
Very cute.
You two seem really cute together. We're not together as a couple. We're just friends. Cove covered his face with his hands and leaned back in his seat.
Seriously?
Oh, Mom, why would you say that? You just laughed. Yeah, we're not together exclusively. We're just friends. That was definitely unexpected, and there didn't seem to be any other way you could react. Your meals were delivered shortly after that, and everything was so delicious, even Cove enjoyed his food.
Okay.
Alright, now that we're all full and content, can you explain, please, why you've had such a bug up your butt all day? In other words, she's talking to her son, Cove. Cove's face scrunched at that. Seriously, baby, what did Mom do to make you this mad? I haven't even been around a full day yet. He gripped the edge of the table, refusing to make eye contact. The words he spoke were barely audible over the din of the restaurant. You could have told me. She leaned forward to not miss anything else, eyebrows raised. Told you what? He finally seemed to find his voice and spoke the thoughts that had been on his mind. That I wasn't going to visit you this year, that you were going to be coming instead. Didn't you invite me? You wanted me here with you. Cove's eyes began to shake, and his frustration ebbed. I do want you to be around, but I don't know it would be like this. It's not the same, and nobody said anything.
I see.
Her expression grew tense. She threaded her fingers together and placed her hands in front of her on the table. We've both been gifted another Clifford surprise. Referring to that as a Clifford surprise almost caused both of you and Cove to crack a smile. You also had no idea his name wasn't just Cliff. Over 5 years, nobody had ever called him Clifford until now. She smoothed her hair out, not letting go of her stern look. The more things change, the more things stay the same. They let out identical sighs, but smiled weakly at one another afterwards.
I'm sorry.
I can go home, Cove. We can still set up a normal trip to my place before the summer ends. Cove's lips tightly closed together. He seriously pondered the option.
I mean,
I think I do want you to stay. I miss it when you're not there. Oh, my heart. She reached across the gap and grabbed his face and planted a kiss on his cheek. Cove tried to wiggle away. Mom, stop. I'm sorry, sweet. Young men need to be smooched by their parents. If I don't, they'll take away my mom license. Car completely enthused by Cove's admission, though a tone of seriousness did return to her voice when the conversation continued. Do you want to talk to your dad too?
No!
Okay, that was out there. Cove had snapped the word instantly, but reeled his annoyance back in just as quickly. Maybe later, not today.
It's all right.
I understand. We can shelve it. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for talking to me, little mister. She grinned affectionately at him before turning your way. And I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom again. She grinned affectionately at him before turning away. Alright. I'm back. Sorry about that. Anyway. And thank you, Chippy. Huh. What did I do? It's easy to act like a baby with your mom. It's harder to keep that up with your neighbor, watching everything. Especially when you really care about what said neighbor thinks of you. She winked. Mom? She ruffled his hair with a laugh, then moved her hand down to tap the end of his nose. And that was how the issue was resolved, at least between Cove and his mom. When the three of you left the restaurant and Cove had paid the bill, you walked back to your neighborhood slowly. A car paid the bill, and you walked back to your neighborhood slowly. Sorry about that. If I got that right. You had eaten so much by the time you were beginning to feel sleepy. It didn't help that the lunch had happened late and the sun was already beginning to descend from the sky. But eventually you reached your street. Someone was there to greet your group upon arrival. Welcome back, family, and Chippy too.
Huh.
Cliff. Dad. Yeah, you're kind of in trouble. Yeah. Not too happy with what you're doing. Those two are not very happy with you. The two walked past him into the condo without sparing another word. Despite the summer heat, their shoulders were cold. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Yeah, you kinda are. He rubbed the back of his neck with a crooked smile, but his eyes were soft as he looked on after them. He's so much like his mom, don't you think? You gave a vague nod, not sure what he was expecting you to do. He nodded back far more energetically. Okay. Have a nice night, Chippy. You too, Mr. Holden. With that, Cove's dad disappeared to join the others inside. It was your turn to go home now. Summer hadn't started off at all how you imagined it would have, though. It turned out to set the tone well. Having Kara in the neighborhood was a new experience for not only you and Cove, but also both your families, and a dull moment was rarely had. Okay. So, I'm going to save it here. There's more moments that I can go through in here. Now, the soiree right here is where I get to go on a date with Derek, actually. There's another moment that we get to have with Derek, and that's at the mall. Derek's going to be with us, and Kara and Cove, and I believe our cousin Lee. That's the cousin of our main character, of course. So, which means I could skip most. I think I could skip most of all these because these are just basic moments with Cove and the rest of the family and whatnot. So I could probably skip a lot of that. I think this is another moment here with Derek too, from what I remember. But anyway, if you want to see more of the some of the past moments I did with Our Life Begins and Always with Cove, just go check out my my YouTube channel. You can scroll through and find some of the earlier videos that I recorded from Our Life Begins and Always. There's lots in there. There's lots of moments in there, and of course the one where we get married to Cove and all that stuff. We also get to eventually marry. In this one, being that we have the DLC for Derek, we get to marry Derek eventually when he comes back as a more of an adult. So yes, we will get to that eventually. And I think then the summer ended as where we get to see Derek in another moment in that one, sort of. Well, yeah, we'll get to all that. But anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. Right there. Yeah, we'll go save it right here. There we go. So that's saved, and we'll go back to it later. So let's go here. Go to window. So thanks again for watching on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button for those of you who haven't done so already. Also, please go check out my Patreon account and please become a Patreon contributing member. Again, all the funds that go in there from the members that join go directly to a worthy charity that I choose from. It. I don't see a pin of it. It just goes directly to a charity. I will announce your name at the end of every video when you become a member. So if you become a member either on the $9 tier or the $25 tier, you will automatically get to receive any copies of uncensored videos that I record. I record them separately and I put them on my flash drive. For now, you guys will, once you become a member, you'll be you can put your email address in the comment section of the either the $9 tier or the $25 tier, whichever one you join up with. Put your email in there so that I can send them to you via email. I have not yet figured out how to transfer my videos from my flash drive to my both of those tiers yet. But anyway, those two tiers, the $9 and the $25 tier, are set up for adult content. So, and again, you can find the link to my Patreon within the description area just below this video, below any of the videos, including this video, of course. So, that being said, the next video I'll be recording will be back on Camp Buddy Scoutmaster season. I'm going to go, like I said, I'm going to go back and forth with the two different games. I'll be doing Scoutmaster season, finishing up the Aiden route, and I'll be doing the Derek moment DLC moments here to share that with you guys. Again, you can get this game through Steam. That's how I got the game. It's way better than the actual site that they have it on. They have it on a different website that you can get it through, but I had problems with that, so I found it better through Steam. It works better. The game works better. I was able to get the DLCs and get them to work better through Steam. So yes, it works way better. Steam works way better. Also, if you guys are interested, there is some videos in here from blood droplets. You might want to check those out if you want. I only did the moments with Jeremy in that game because it's a difficult, weird game to play. It's like you try to get through certain areas and without getting killed. It's weird. Just go check it out. You'll find it here. In fact, I can even show you if I could. It's going to take a while because I got so many videos here. Not just Camp Buddy or Scoutmaster Season. I got Sensations here. I got all this other stuff. I got Our Life Begins in Always right here. This is where we were playing the wedding with me and Cove. And then our weddings here with Cove. But I would suggest seeing all of the videos from Our Lives and Beginnings and Always, so you know if you haven't seen it or you want to see it again. If you've seen it before and you want to see it again, please do go ahead and see it. That's what the videos are here for. I'm here to entertain you guys, to hopefully get you guys to join up on my Patreon and donate to good causes. Charities that need the funds. That's why I do this. I do this to entertain you, so to hopefully get some of you to donate for charities, and that's what the Patreon is for. Is the funds go there and they go directly to charity. This is the bonus moment. That's another bonus moment. That's without the uncensored parts of it, of course. The one I was just talking about earlier. There's a lot. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here's the XO blood droplets. I have 3 of them here. 3 different ones. I got to go to a good ending right here, without getting killed, of course. So, and I didn't continue with the game because it's, like I said, it's a weird game. It's hard to figure out, how to play it without getting killed in the game, So, but anyway, there it is. If you want to check it out, there's blood droplets right there. Beginnings and Our Life Begins in Always. There's lots of them in here. Just check them out. If you have the time, check them all out, please. Please do. Also, another character that's going to be coming up that we can get with and get fond of and eventually marry is Baxter. I am told that it's probably going to be out sometime next year. It's probably going to take a long time to develop that part of the DLCs for Baxter. And it took a long time just to get this DLC for them to get this DLC out, and that seems to be the theme of the game is that it takes them a long time just to get the DLCs developed and get them out. It seems like. But anyway, there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and I will see you guys later. Like I said, next time I will be doing Cat Buddy Scoutmaster season. Continuing with the Aiden route. So until then, bye for now.